The stars had always been a mystery to Marcus, but nothing seemed as mysterious as the isolated planet he was now stationed on. The planet was located on the edge of known space, so far from human colonies that it was almost forgotten. A once thriving settlement was now nothing more than a relic of the past, with old buildings half fallen and overgrown with strange, foreign plants. Marcus had been assigned to this planet, along with a small team of soldiers, to gather resources from the abandoned colony. He wasn't sure why they had to travel so far for supplies, but orders were orders. It wasn't the first time he had been sent on missions to forgotten corners of the galaxy, but something about this planet felt different, as if it were hiding something. The morning sun glinted off the dust that settled on the ground as Marcus and his team prepared for another routine check on the outskirts of the settlement. It had been quiet for days, and all they had encountered so far were old tools, forgotten supplies, and the occasional strange artifact. But as Marcus walked through the empty streets, he couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't alone. Suddenly, a strange noise broke the silence. It was faint at first, a soft rustling sound from one of the crumbling buildings. Marcus raised his weapon, motioning for his team to hold their positions. They had learned to trust their instincts on missions like this. The feeling that something was wrong couldn't be ignored. One of the younger soldiers, Private Davis, crept forward. His hands were sweaty, but he kept his focus. "Sir, it's coming from inside that building," he whispered, pointing to a structure half covered in vines. Without saying a word, Marcus gestured for him to lead the way. As the team carefully approached the entrance, the strange noise grew louder. It was a soft, almost musical sound, mixed with the faint cries of something that wasn't quite human. Marcus's heart skipped a beat. This wasn't the sound of wildlife. They entered the building, and what they found inside was both shocking and unexpected. A small group of alien creatures, children perhaps, were huddled in a corner. They were clearly not human, their skin shimmering with shades of green and blue, their eyes wide and full of fear. The creatures had no weapons, and from the looks of them, they were completely defenseless. The sudden realization hit Marcus. These were the last survivors of a once great alien race, stranded on this forgotten planet. Before he could react, one of the creatures, a small, trembling figure, reached out to him, its voice barely audible. "Help, please!" Marcus couldn't ignore their cries. These innocent beings had nothing to do with the war that had ravaged the galaxy. They were just children lost and abandoned in a place they didn't belong. "Stay back," Marcus ordered his team as he stepped forward. "We need to get them out of here." As the soldiers prepared to leave the building, the air around them seemed to shift. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and Marcus's senses heightened. Something wasn't right. Without warning, a swarm of creatures, hostile, with sharp claws and glowing eyes, appeared at the entrance. "They had been waiting for them. Get down!" Marcus shouted, pushing the closest soldier to the ground just as a deadly blast shot past them. It was an ambush. The battle erupted in seconds, and Marcus knew they were outmatched. The creatures were fast and relentless, attacking from all sides. His soldiers fought valiantly, but the sheer number of enemies was overwhelming. Marcus was determined to protect the alien children at all costs. But he knew he couldn't do it alone. It was in this moment of chaos that a figure appeared from the shadows. The figure was tall, regal, and unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. She had an otherworldly presence, her movement smooth and fluid as she fought off the attackers with deadly precision. Her eyes were fierce, yet there was an undeniable elegance to her form. She wore armor made of strange materials, shimmering with energy, and her weapon was unlike any human technology Marcus had encountered. For a moment, Marcus thought he had imagined her, but then, the alien queen spoke in a voice that commanded respect, even as she cut through the enemies with ease. "Stay back, human," she said, her voice calm but authoritative. "I'll handle this." Marcus froze in place, watching as the alien queen effortlessly destroyed the attackers one by one. He had never seen anything like it. Despite the brutal battle surrounding him, there was something mesmerizing about her. She moved with the grace of a predator, and every strike was precise and deadly. The creatures that had attacked them were soon scattered, and silence fell over the battlefield. The alien queen turned toward Marcus, her eyes narrowing as she assessed him. There was a deep intelligence in her gaze, as if she was studying him, weighing his worth. "You are not like the others," she said, her voice softer now but still commanding. "You protect the weak even when it cost you your life." Marcus didn't respond at first. His heart was still racing, adrenaline pumping through his veins. He glanced at the alien children who were now huddled together, their fear slowly turning to curiosity as they watched the strange warrior before them. The Queen's eyes followed his gaze. "These are my people. My children. They are all that remain of my kind." Marcus swallowed hard. The reality of the situation hit him all at once. He had just saved the last remnants of an alien species, and this queen, this incredible being, had just saved his life. Her gaze softened, but her voice remained strong. "I owe you my thanks, human. But you have no idea the price you have paid for this moment. The blood you have shed for my children has bound you to us, whether you realize it or not." Marcus could only stare at her, unsure of what to say. He had no idea what this meant. Why she had saved him, or why she spoke as if his actions were more than just a soldier's duty. But there was something undeniable in the air between them, a sense of connection that he couldn't ignore. The Queen turned away and addressed her people, speaking in a language Marcus didn't understand, but the tone was unmistakable. It was a command. "Gather the children," she ordered. "We leave at once. The human will come with us." Marcus didn't know what to expect. The Queen's words had been clear, but he was still confused. He had saved the alien children, but now it seemed that the Queen was claiming him, though for what purpose? He wasn't yet sure. As he followed her through the wreckage of the settlement, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that his life was about to change in ways he couldn't yet imagine. The journey through the ruins of the settlement felt surreal to Marcus. The once abandoned streets now seemed alive with purpose as the Queen led him and the alien children through the wreckage. Her presence was undeniable, and though he had only known her for a short time, Marcus couldn't help but feel a deep respect for her strength. She was not just a leader, she was the last hope for her people. As they moved deeper into the heart of the ruins, Marcus noticed the stark difference between her and the soldiers he had fought alongside. The Queen didn't seem to be in any rush. Her every step was measured, calm, and powerful. Even in the face of destruction, she exuded an air of control. "You fought well," she said quietly, breaking the silence. "Many would have turned their back on my people, but you risked your life for them." Her voice was calm, but there was a depth in it that Marcus couldn't ignore. It was the voice of someone who had carried burdens far heavier than any war. Marcus wasn't sure how to respond. He was just a soldier. He had done what was necessary, nothing more. He had grown up in a world where soldiers were expected to protect others, no matter the cost. But there was something different about her. Something that made him feel as if his actions were not only noticed, but valued in ways he couldn't yet understand. "Why did you help me?" he asked, his voice more hesitant than he intended. "You didn't have to." The Queen glanced back at him, her gaze softening for a moment before hardening again. "You are different from the others," she replied. You did not hesitate. "That is rare." Marcus didn't know what she meant by that. But before he could ask, the Queen stopped in front of a large stone structure that had once been a grand building. The doors were shattered, and what remained of the walls was covered in vines and moss. It looked like an ancient temple, but there was something unsettling about the way it stood, as though it had been waiting for something. "This is where we begin," the Queen said. Her voice was low, almost reverent, as she stepped forward. As they entered the structure, Marcus noticed the eerie quiet. There was no sound, only the steady drip of water echoing through the chamber. The air felt thick, heavy with the weight of centuries. "This is the heart of my people," she explained, gesturing to the broken stone pillars that lined the walls. "Here the leaders of my kind would once stand and guide our people. It is where my ancestors gathered, where our strength was forged." Marcus felt a sense of awe. This place was ancient, but it was also alive with the memory of something powerful, something that had long since faded but not forgotten. The Queen moved toward a large stone altar at the center of the room. It was decorated with strange symbols, glowing faintly in the dim light. She knelt before it, her expression solemn. She reached out, placing her hand on the surface of the altar, and for a moment Marcus thought she was praying. "This is the place where the bond is made," she said softly, her eyes closed. "It is the place where my people's future is decided. And now it seems it will be the place where yours is as well." Marcus stepped forward, unsure of what she meant. "What are you talking about?" She opened her eyes, locking her gaze with his. "You saved my children. You fought to protect what little remains of my kind, and in doing so you have earned something rare among my people. Respect. But you've earned more than that, Marcus." Her voice dropped lower and there was a spark of something ancient in her eyes. "You have earned my claim." Marcus was taken aback. "Claim?" he repeated, trying to process her words. "What do you mean?" She stood, her posture regal, and took a step closer to him. "The bond between us goes beyond our actions today. You risked your life for those who had no place in this world. You acted without hesitation, without selfishness. You saved my children and you gave me hope. That is something I will not forget." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "But I'm human. I'm not one of your people. I'm just a soldier." She smiled, a soft, almost sad expression. "It is not your bloodline that matters. It is your actions. And in this moment you have become something far greater than just a soldier." Marcus was silent, his thoughts swirling. He had never expected this. He had never thought that something as simple as protecting others would lead to such a situation. His mind raced, trying to understand what she meant. The Queen stepped back, her hand still resting on the stone altar. "I know what you are thinking. You wonder why a human, have been chosen for this. The answer is simple. You have proven yourself worthy." The weight of her words hung in the air, heavy and uncertain. Marcus knew he was being asked to make a choice. But he didn't know what the consequences of that choice would be. Could he really accept the Queen's offer? Could he truly bind his fate with hers? Before he could speak, the Queen turned away, her eyes glinting with determination. "I will not force you, Marcus. But I am asking you to be with us. To stand beside me, not as an ally, but as something more. Our people are dying and I need strength. But I also need someone I can trust. Someone who will not turn away when the darkness comes." Marcus swallowed hard. He had never been asked to take on something so monumental. A part of him wanted to walk away, to return to the life he knew. But another part of him, a deeper part, felt something calling him to stay. The Queen turned back to face him, her expression calm but filled with purpose. "We are more than what we appear. My people, we have lost so much, but you can help us rebuild." Her words lingered in the silence. Marcus took a deep breath. "And what does that mean for me?" She walked toward him, her movements graceful and fluid. "It means that your life is now intertwined with ours. It means that you will fight beside me, lead beside me, and perhaps even rule beside me." Marcus felt a rush of emotions. This was more than he had ever bargained for. But as he looked at the Queen, he saw something in her eyes. A determination and hope that he hadn't seen in a long time. She wasn't just asking for help. She was offering a future. A future that was uncertain, but one that could change the galaxy forever. "I will stand by you," Marcus said, his voice steady but filled with a new sense of resolve. "I'll help you, whatever it takes." The Queen's eyes softened and she gave a nod of approval. "Then let us begin," she said, a new chapter in their story unfolding before them. The path ahead was unclear, but for the first time Marcus felt like he had a purpose greater than anything he had ever known. And with the Queen by his side, he knew that together, they could build something that would change the galaxy forever.